Good morning, everybody. We have a special event today, having Masumi and Tine with us. And we're going to be talking about interactive focusing, which is a very wonderful process that was one of the first real attentions to the relationship in focusing, and has spread all over. And so I'm very eager to talk about that and to practice that with you a bit this morning. So I'm so pleased to have Masumi. And Masumi, you're going to introduce yourself much more completely, but I just wanted to say that you've been such a wonderful part of the community empowerment project, just bringing a different perspective from Japan, and hanging in there, and sort of I was just going to say, hanging in there and teaching us about how difficult it is when we use cliches. And here I said, hanging in there. Well, you've been persistent in alerting us, raising our consciousness to all the things that we say in English that other people aren't going to register. So thank you. And Tine, I'm so glad to get to know you. And this is our first workshop together. So welcome. And we have Melinda with us, a real treat. And Melinda, do you want to greet everybody?
Oh, it's just so nice to see everybody. Now I see what I've been missing the last couple of months. So I think I'll need to rearrange my schedule just to be with everybody. It just feels like this is another community of mine. And so I want to say hello and welcome also. And also just that with Masumi and Tine, I just appreciate their sticking with it. I don't know, that's another cliche about being able to find a time to be able to come to this group. Because again, you see they're from Belgium and Japan, and with the time zones and busy schedules, it's not such an easy thing to do. So I just want to express my gratitude for them being here with us this morning and this afternoon and this evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So shall I start share screen?
Well, maybe Masumi, you can wait with doing that, because we will do raise hands. And if you share screen, we will not be able to see what people do.
Also, we would like to see your face, Masumi, and have you just tell us a little bit about yourself. When we can see you, when we share the screen, then that will be in the way of you.
Well, I don't have much to talk about myself, really, other than my name, Masumi Maeda, and I am a psychotherapist and clinical psychologist certified, and I am intrigued by interactive focusing. I directly learned interactive focusing from Janet Klein and Mary McGuire, who are the developers of interactive focusing. I've been teaching interactive focusing over more than 10 years in Japan, and I've been invited to Belgium, and Tine has become a certified teacher for me. And I've been visited China for 6 times already. And I've done presentation in the United States in FOT conferences. Yeah, that's all I can say about myself. That's a lot, I said.
That's a lot. That's beautiful.
Tine, would you like to do that same?
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I see a lot of new faces for me, and some familiar ones. I'm a psychologist and psychotherapist from Belgium. And I'm a focusing trainer since 1959. I went to Chicago where I met Jean, and also where I learned interactive focusing from Janet and Mary. Afterwards, I learned more about it from Masumi. I have a special interest in relationship focusing, interactive focusing, and TAE, thinking at the edge. I'm also coordinator for Belgium for focusing with adults and with children. And I've written my first book on focusing in Dutch. So,
Oh,
yeah, that's me. Hi, Helen.
well, so is it time for me to share screen now, Tina?
Well, maybe we want to get to know who is in the room first.
Okay.
We already asked the people who came in earlier to add to their name where they are from. So if you go to your own little screen with your picture, there are 3 little dots in it in the right upper corner. If you click on that, you can rename yourself and add the country where you are from after your name. So we have a bit an idea who is here today with us. I would also like to ask if you can raise your hand if you feel like you're an experienced focuser. Yes, lots of them. And maybe you're a beginning focuser. Can you raise your hand? Yes. And maybe you don't know focusing at all. Apparently everybody is already acknowledged, has knowledge of focusing. But interactive focusing, are there experienced interactive focusers in this group? Yes, Helen. Some others, and maybe people who already have a little bit of experience with it? Yes. And who is completely new to interactive focusing? Yes, so there's a lot of more mixture in the room if it's about interactive focusing. So we will be happy to introduce you, and Masumi will share screen and tell you our program of today.
And a greeting, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. And here we have program for today. We have Janet Klein's motivation to develop Janet Klein's motivation to develop interactive focusing and interactive focusing format between focusing and interactive focusing, explanation of double empathic moment, demonstration of double empathic moment, and then exercises to capture the empathic essence. And we will have breakout room activities. And at the end, we'll have sharing. So Janet Klein's motivation was she was intrigued by focusing when she first encountered it in Chicago, but she wanted more interaction to be deeply connected with others. She was facing a divorce and she was sorry she couldn't really be connected with her husband. And to be able to listen empathically, she changed the profession from business world to psychotherapy, and she was not confident in listening empathically. And she wanted to acquire listening skills without much tension. She really she feared the supervisions after the sessions. She wanted to acquire listening skills at ease. And now you will know the created storyteller as teacher, that listeners can learn from the focuser how to listen and to know how others see her and to talk about relationship between each other safely and caringly. So she made the step called relationship check at the end. So I'm going to show you the format of interactive focusing. First, storyteller speaks and the listener reflects, and storyteller resonates what the reflection and gives feedback when necessary. And that is called storyteller as teacher. Tina will explain this method later. And you go round and round, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, until you come to a resting place. And then comes a double empathic moment, which is called by Janet golden moment. This is the highlight of interactive focusing. And then this single wing, the half part of the session ends here. We will do only this part today. And then full session has interactive response, the role shift, listener becomes storyteller, storyteller becomes listener, and they try 1, 2, 3 again, and double empathic moment. But it has special characteristics that what the second storyteller talks about is what touched her from listening to the first story that she heard. And then at the end, after they become rather connected and feel safe, they have relationship check. We'd have to omit explaining the latter part because of the time limit. So we only have the first single wing session today. There are 4 building stops that 1, 2, 3 are similar to focusing. And safe environment, you already know, with caring attitude and confidentiality, without criticism or judgment. And the body sense is approximately the same as felt sense. But Janet preferred to use this term, firstly because body sense is easier to understand to people than felt sense. And secondly, body sense wants to be included the sense of what's between the partners and also the environment surrounding the partners. Not only just the felt sense inside the body. That's why she wanted to use the body sense instead of felt sense. And one of the 4 building blocks is compassionate empathic listening, which is the same as focusing, and storyteller as teacher. The storyteller teaches what and how to be reflected. Okay, so characteristics of interactive focusing. There is a procedural format step to follow, so anyone can do the session. No need for guiding skills. In focusing, the listener gives instruction how to process. But if you follow the format for storytellers and the listener, anybody can do this session. And also, storyteller briefly gives concrete information about the background situation and or life story. If it is easier for the listener to imagine what the storyteller is talking about in what situation, and easier to empathize with the storyteller. Whereas in focusing, you can only say felt sense words, and the listener may feel lost what the situation is and not so easy to empathize the whole story. And there are 3 unique steps to enhance more interaction, called double empathic moment, interactive response, and relationship check. We only have time to practice double empathic moment today. And the storyteller's teacher, this method gives partners equal partnerships. And the Tina will explain double empathic moment and storyteller's teacher later in detail. Comparison between focusing and interactive focusing. Focusing, it's not the matter of which is better or worse. It's just equal, just as good. Focusing is useful to deepen your own self-understanding, to search for inner truth deep inside, and to receive awareness from one's own body. That's the characteristics of focusing. Whereas interactive focusing is useful to build good relationships as well as deepening self-understanding and understanding of others. And what's more, in addition to that, useful to empower empathic and compassionate listening skills. It is found by many professors in Japan that if you do the session, interactive focusing session, the students learn to be empathic listeners. So I feel that it is an important training tool to empower empathic listening skills. That's the characteristic and comparison between. Okay, so Tine, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I want to say something about the storyteller as a teacher that Masumi already mentioned. The storyteller is the one who starts with focusing, and he or she will gently request the listener to say back the important words he or she likes to hear again. So you ask the listener, can you give me back this or that word that is important to you as a storyteller? So you have the time to check inside if the word matches what is inside your body and continue from there. When the listener reflects the word as requested, or when the listener gives an empathic reflection, you can teach alive in the session how you want to be listened to. So if the reflection, if you feel in your body that the reflection fits with how it is in there, you can continue. But if you feel it's not really what you needed, or it's maybe different inside, you will learn the listener that he or she needs to use maybe another word, and you ask for another word. So there is a live learning in the moment instead of afterwards when you get supervision about how you listen, but you cannot change it anymore because the session is over. So here you have important feedback about how you are listening while you're listening. And that gives a more relaxed way of being there for the listener. And then we go to the double empathic moment. So when the storyteller comes to a resting place, when you have this 1, 2, 3 several times, and the storyteller feels, yes, this is a good place, this is a resting place, the listener will take some time to put herself in the shoes of the storyteller and tries to capture the essence of what the storyteller was telling. And it tries to capture it from his or her body sense. When you feel this essence, you wait for some symbols to come. That can be words, but that can also be a gesture or a metaphor to express this core of the whole story. So that is the empathic essence, and you tell that to your storyteller to take its insights. So the empathic essence, it's important that it is the essence of the whole story of the storyteller, not just one part that maybe touched you, but it's the whole story from the point of view from the storyteller. And you do not want to tell another story, you want to tell a brief expression. So it's important that it is about the body sense of the storyteller. So it's not a summary of what you heard or an explanation or interpretation or a list of the parts of the story. It really is the whole story, how it feels in your body as you put yourself in the shoes of the other one. Of course, you avoid to use the metaphoric expressions that are already used by your storyteller. Masumi and I will give a short demonstration of this single wing. And this is also the exercise you will be doing afterwards in the breakout rooms. You'll get a PDF with the instructions for it, so don't worry, you don't have to know it all or remember it all. Masumi, shall we start with our demonstration?
Yes.
Let's take
yes.
a minute and see who wants to be the storyteller and
All
who
right.
wants to be the listener.
Let's check inside and see who wants to be a speaker,
Yes.
storyteller, and who wants to be the listener. Tine?
I can be the storyteller if you're okay with that. Okay.
Certainly. I would love to be a listener. Please go slowly so I can reflect back.
Yes.
Okay.
So I tried the subject
Title.
of exercise,
Yeah.
which is something that made me happy. And immediately there came this memory of last Friday. There is a heat wave at this point in Belgium. So during the day, it's not possible to go outside. It's too hot. But in the evening, in the later evening, it's okay. And I went to some friends and we were sitting together in the garden and talking to each other for hours. So it was really a good evening. I really felt it in my body, how I enjoyed and relaxed.
Oh, so enjoyed and relaxed with visiting friends in a cool air after the heat wave.
Yes. And part of the what really was relaxing was that there was not a time limit. We did not have to go to a meeting or pick up children in school or whatever. It was night. So
Yeah.
we could sit there as long as we felt like, haha, it's too hot to go to sleep. But it's good outside. Yeah.
No limit of time, no other obligations to stop you enjoying the conversation.
Yes, especially no other obligations. That's good. That touches me. Yeah. It had this. It was also special that it was normally if I go there, I have long conversation with my friend, but now her husband came out also and sat with us in the garden, and it was something of the three of us. So it was just friends enjoying each other's company. Nothing heavy.
So your friend's husband joined you and three of you enjoy
Yes.
the friendly conversations.
So yes, this might be a good resting place for me.
Okay. Then may I go forward to have a double empathic moment?
Yes, please.
Okay. I will try to capture how you are holding your story, the whole story. And with my own body sense, I will put myself in your position and try to express the essence of your story in some symbolic way. While I search for that essence, would you please be gentle with what came to you after finishing your story? Let us take about a minute of quiet time together.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe it's good to ask other participants, what would be your essence for Tine's story? So the essence that came to me, Tine, can I share it now?
Yes, please.
It's an image of a bud of a flower, beautiful flower, but right now it is a little bit withered because of the lack of water or high temperature. But as the cool air came, it started to blossom, open up slowly, more open up more and more. And it has become beautiful flower. And with the addition of a little bit of shower, it opened up beautifully. That's the essence I got. Could you check inside and see if which part
Yeah.
resonates and which doesn't? And tell me frankly.
Yes, this is really. Thank you for this image. This really, I can feel it in my body how this movement of opening up and yeah, yes. Thank you.
So then, how was it for you? What came to you after finishing your story? Was there anything to tell me?
Yes, it's a bit in contrasts. It's a bit contrary with what I thought, but what came was a slight sadness that that my husband wasn't there. We should have been there with the four of us. That would even more be blossoming. Yeah. Yeah, so it felt like a missing part. Yeah.
Wasn't aware of that part, but since you told me about that, I can empathize with you more. Thank you for telling me so. So I'm trying to explain to you, you have to give the essence of the whole story. So imagine this is the first part of the story the storyteller told you. And you get the sense, you get your own body sense listening to him or her. And then the storyteller goes on to the second part of the story. So you have the body sense again. He or she is feeling that way. But then because the words disappear and the picture disappears, you have to remember what was said before. Then goes the third part. It's like this. Oh, you get the sense, body sense of this story. But at the end, when it comes to the double empathic moment, what you ought to do is to recall the previous story and combine the whole picture. And the essence ought to be the essence of the whole story. This is rather difficult because your body sense changes, but you have to capture the essence of the whole story. So now let's do some exercise. Tine, do we have time for one exercise or two? Exercise. Look at this illustration. What is the essence for you of this illustration? Can you capture the essence and express it with words, gesture, movement, sound, posture, whatever? Let's take a little bit of quiet time. And when anybody is ready to volunteer to give us your essence, please raise your hand.
Yeah, what comes in me is lightness, 3 words basically: lightness, creativity, togetherness.
Say it again, please.
Lightness, creativity, togetherness.
Lightness, togetherness,
Lightness, creativity,
togetherness.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else, please? Lynn.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you.
What's
your essence?
The chaos and the connection of community.
Oh, chaos and connection of community. Wonderful. Anybody else, please?
I wanted to say it's a potluck dinner at the patio.
potluck dinner at patio.
At the patio, yes.
At the patio. Wow, very American. Thank you. Anybody else?
This is June. I'm looking at some of the
Yes.
faces. I'm looking at the faces and I see, yes, no.
Yes. No. Am I right?
One of those girls is, no, right?
I see. Thank you. That's wonderful. Shall we go to a next one? So I will read the poem of a manta. I Am the Mantis by Naoko Kudo. Please listen and capture the essence of the body sense of this mantis, not the poet, the mantis. Hey, it's summer. I've got extra energy. Don't come too close. My daggers are shining, making my heart pound. Hey, it's hot. I will use all the power I have. Look at me swinging my daggers, absorbing the burning sunlight. Absolutely groovy for sure. So just ponder and see what the essence would be that you captured, your body sense captured.
Joy.
Oh, please, joy. And,
I think it's braggadocios, boasting.
boasting.
Braggadocio, boasting, showing off. Boasting.
Oh, showing off. Uh-huh. Yes. Man, this is showing off. Yes. Thank you.
Exuberance.
Wow, that's a new word for me. Say it again, please.
Exuberance.
Exuberance. Can you paraphrase it?
Delighted with life. Delighted with life.
Delighted with life. Thank you for helping me. Yes.
Radiating.
Radiating. Oh, yes. Thank you. Wow. So shall we go to the next step? So we are going to have a breakout room exercise and capture the essence, empathic essence of the story of each one person. We will do that in diets, and the title is the same. Something that made me happy or makes me happy. That's whichever is all right. Each person has 4 minutes, and the listener is going to be a timekeeper until 4 minutes is done. And first you decide who starts as a storyteller and who is going to be the listener. Afterwards, you will change the role. But the storytelling, and then you take pause. And listener gives empathic essence.
Okay, Masumi,
And-
I am back. I have computer problems.
You are back. I am wondering. Good, you're back. I just continue just to end of the green part.
Yes, it's good.
Storyteller gives gentle feedback and shares what came during the pause. Okay?
Okay.
And then you change the roles and do the same. You go first rounds like this, and after 4 minutes, you have the double empathic moment.
Yes,
Okay.
it's about how to start double empathic moments. So when the listener takes the role of addressing the storyteller, then the listener says, I will try to capture how it is inside you now with my own body sense. I will put myself in your position and try to express the essence of your story in some symbolic way. And to the storyteller, you say, if it is all right with you, please be gentle and stay with what came to you. Stay present with that body feeling. Let us take about a minute of quiet time together. So you have time to really take in the story and give it back in some symbolic way. And the storyteller has time to see if something more comes or how it is after telling this story to the listener. Okay? So I will do a short attunement to connect to our bodies and to a story of something that made you happy. Afterwards, you will be put in the breakout rooms in pairs to do this exercise. But let me invite you now to take some time, sit back, sit as comfortable as possible, and bring your awareness into your body, how you're sitting here right now. Maybe noticing your feet and the support of the floor underneath them. Noticing your legs. And sensing your hands and your arms. And sensing the support of the chair you're sitting on and resting into that support. And then gently bring your awareness into your whole inner area of your throat, your chest, your stomach, and your belly. And let your awareness rest in there for a while. And then gently invite a story of something that made you happy. And something is there. Some story pops up. Notice how does all this about this story feel in your body now? And maybe just say hello to it. And take your time to be with it and get a sense of all of this that comes in you now. And I invite you to just keep this company as Christine will bring you into the breakout rooms. And where you will start with choosing who will tell his or her story first.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yes.
Hello, hello, hello. So,
We're very eager to hear what you experienced in your breakout room.
Yes, please give us how did you feel when you received this empathic essence from your listener? How was that for you? And maybe you have other questions or things you want to share. If you want to say something, you can raise your hand and go ahead. Welcome.
It was delightful.
Mhm.
I loved Shashi's reflection, and ability to empathically capture what I had said. Yeah. Yeah. It deepened it. It made it, it doubled it for me.
Doubled your happy feeling.
Yes.
Huh? Wonderful. Thank you, Larry.
Bob,
Bob,
go
please.
ahead.
Yes, it was a wonderful experience. I'm a regular focuser, but this experience today deepened my ability to connect with my partner. In this case, it was Pam, and I began to feel the emotion in my body that she was expressing, and the symbolism came to me as a result of that. So I went from not being sure what to do, but step by step, we got through it, and we had a deep experience. It's exciting to me. Probably would like to know more.
Wow. Thank you. DJ, are you raising hand?
I'm not, but I would
Oh.
be happy. I would be happy to share. There was a true body sense of just exuberance again. I was surprised that we were to choose a happy moment. I had expected any moment, and so when I saw happy moment combined with the not quite understanding the directions, that there was a kind of an urgency at the beginning, and then it was like the one image was a balloon expanding with just this joy at something fabulous coming from this beginning, like ooh, and then the other image was like, I don't know what they call those things, but you have like wings, and you're pulled by a power boat, and there's a big rope, and it pulls you up to the level
Yeah.
where you can't hear anything at all. It's totally silent, and just looking down at the chaos and the creativity and the wonder of everything. It was just a blissful experience.
Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Steph, you're raising your hand.
I'm sorry, I was with Victor.
Oh, okay. So I see Steph is raising her hand. Yes.
So when Lenore gave me the empathic essence, I felt my whole heart expand. I felt like this expansion coming out of my heart. Felt really nice, very full.
Wow. That's
Thank
also
you.
very nice. Roseanne, are you raising hand?
Yes, I am.
Please.
Right. Well, initially the session started with like this. I'm not so sure how it's going to start, like with such a short time to share the story. But
Speak slowly, please.
sorry, speak slower, right? Okay. I was saying the session start off like that, like it's dim. It may be a little gloomy, and I'm also a new focuser, so I'm not so sure about my reflection. But anyway, Nettie and I are partners, and at the end of the session, we felt that it's like this. It's like the light, and we are illuminating each other like because our story converge. We are sharing very different story at the content level, but the theme is the same. It's about oneness. It's about transcending our own experience. And I feel so deeply connected with Nettie as she shared her story. And also at the end, just throughout the session is just so amazing. I'm so glad to learn interactive focusing at such a short time. Well, at least the first wing. Thank you for this experience.
Wonderful.
And Natty is acknowledging what you're saying, Roxanne. She gives you a little heart.
Yeah.
And I see that Victor, you're raising your hand.
Yes. It's really, it feels, I've never tried cocaine, but it feels like that. really, really very,
Yes.
can get addictive, really addictive, this happiness. And what I want to say, I was with BJ and thank her so much. And I think what's important, this that you suggested to use a symbolic, and that really feels like a jump board, like really increases the overall felt sense or body sense of what's going on, and you also like an anchor, works as an anchor to that you can stay with it and you can keep it in the mind as not only a symbol but as a body sense that goes with it. It's a powerful tool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Nati, you want to say something more?
Yes, because I was so grateful and hearing what Roxanne shared, it was just like that, the feeling that when I've done this before and when we share from our felt sensing of the story of the other, that brings about such a connection, the interaction changes in so many in deeper ways. So it was really, I wish we had more time, but then it was so enriching that it moved in ways that and really connected, even though they were different. They connected with each other in a very deep and visceral way and brought such richness to me. So I'm very, very thankful for this experience. Thank you very much. Thank you, Roxanne, and thank you, Masumi and Tine. Thank you very much.
Nati. And that was only the single wing. What might have happened if you had the whole experience?
Full session, yes. Well, Sasha is raising the hand.
I was raising the hand to ask you to, does this make this interactive focusing makes focusing easier? It's different, but does it make it easier because it's difficult to see to feel the felt sense versus the body sense? I briefly took a course with Barbara, somebody from the Focusing Institute on interactive focusing, and this made it a little bit clearer. So I'm trying to figure out the difference between the regular focusing and this focusing, that if you can reflect on it a bit, if you have time.
Masumi, would you like to say something about that to Sashi?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, well, as I said, Janet really wanted to have feeling of connectedness and through focusing. So it was based on focusing, and it's a developed form of focusing. So I would rather say focusing, if you can do the focusing, which all of you have experienced, it makes the interactive focusing go deeper. The word if you can start with interactive focusing, but if you are not a focuser, the beginners will start telling the story and the background stories and situations and don't go into the real sense inside. So I would suggest people to do focusing practice at the same time as they learn interactive focusing. I wonder if, Sashi, am I answering your question?
Yes, but I think I need a little bit more reflection and clarification on it. Is there reading reference material or something like that I can find and read about it?
Sure.
Janet wrote several books that are available at the International Focusing Institute. So you can find things she wrote about it there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you want to know more, Masumi and I are doing a workshop in September and October of 8 meetings. And then we work through step by step and go to the full session. you will get the PowerPoint afterwards. And at the last slides, you will see information on this workshop and also information on how to reach Masumi and me. If you have questions or want to share something afterwards, you can reach out and we will be happy to see how we can be helpful.
Yes, we can give private sessions too, if you like.
But is this, you cannot do this with your patients. You can like, it's
Well, you mean applying this for therapy needs
yes.
a lot of experiences beforehand,
Mhm.
of course, but it is very powerful to
With
give
your-
the empathic essence after you have when you come to a closing point, the therapist can give the empathic essence of the whole story that you heard, and that really moves the process forward. And I have experienced it many times.
Yes, absolutely. Your client doesn't have to know that this is what you're doing, but you can do it. You can offer in a symbol the essence of the whole story of your client and make him or her go deeper by that. And another thing is that you can use interactive focusing for working with couples or families or groups. So then you really are teaching them how to be with each other in this interactive focusing way.
Yeah.
But you can use it in individual therapy also.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That clarifies my questions, and I will follow through when the training comes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, as you can see, you have the information on the workshop Masumi and I are giving. And you can reach us on per mail. And Masumi also has a Facebook page, Interactive Focusing Forests. I have a Facebook page, E-Focusing, and an Instagram page, E-Focusing. And there you also find my website, which is efocusing.be, but that's in Dutch. I'm not sure if anybody will be able to do something with my Dutch. On my Dutch website, there are some English articles I wrote. I want to thank all of you for being with Masumi and I today. It was a pleasure to be here and to hear all of you, what it did, what came during practicing together, although it only was 20 minutes. I can hear that you had a powerful experience. And I want to thank Lynn and Melinda and Christine for inviting us and assisting us today with all the technical things also. So if you have more questions or you want to know something about our workshop, please contact Masumi or me and we will be happy to help you. Masumi, do you want to say something more?
Well, ditto. So I just am dying to hear Dorothy's poems.
Thank you so much. This was a lovely experience.
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So Dorothy, it's your time.
Okay. The name of the poem is Starlings by Maggie Smith. Not the English actor. She's a contemporary American poet. And I just felt like it had something to do with not being possessive in relationships and in life and thinking about holding on. Starlings. The starlings choose one piece of sky above the river and pour themselves in. They must be 1,000 arrows pointing in unison one way, then another. That bit of blue doesn't belong to them, and they don't belong to the sky or to the earth or to us. Isn't that what you've been taught? Nothing is ours. Haven't you learned to keep the loosest possible hold? The small portion of sky boils with birds. Near the river's edge, one birch has a knot so much like an eye. You think it sees you, but of course it doesn't.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. We'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.